All right, recording on this computer. Let's start with 99 bottles. So the first thing I'm gonna do is fork this over to my personal GitHub. I think I did that yesterday. Yep, I did that right here. All right, so right here, I'm on my personal Tom Preet 99 bottles. Now I'm gonna clone that down by coming over here to this green code button. It drops down, and I'm gonna click this button right here. It copies it. And whoop, what the hell is that? And, all right, so I'm in this Mike Challenges folder, and there's nothing in this folder right now. It's desktop, Code Platoon Challenges, Mike Challenges. List everything out. There's nothing here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to make things a little bit easier to see. So how do I get this 99 bottles down onto my local machine?
Git clone, paste the URL.
So I heard git clone and paste the URL like that. All right, so I'm press enter. Cool, I've got 99 bottles right here. I'm gonna open it up. So we have a JavaScript 99 bottles and a Python 99 bottles. Yesterday, we only had to do the 99 bottles in JavaScript. If you decided to do it in Python as well, good on you. It's just less work you have to do later on. But that's great. So I'm going to double click on here so it opens up in the tab in VS Code. Oh, here's my answer. I remember pushing that up to GitHub, like submitting my answer. If you didn't submit your answer yesterday or any of the code, that's totally fine. As long as you made an attempt at writing the solution, that's totally fine. All right, let's kind of read. So I've got a README here. Let's kind of read what this is. All right, write a program that can print the 99 bottles of beer song, 99 bottles of beer. So it's supposed to take this, whatever input, and write it all the way from 99 down to 1. And it looks like all this is repeated, pretty much repeated code all the way until it gets down to the 1, when there's only 1 bottle of beer on the wall. And then it kind of changes. So let's see how we can do this. Does anybody have any suggestions? I heard somebody did a while loop. Is that correct?
Yep,
Yeah,
that was me.
Okay.
Was saying.
All right, yeah, let's do a while loop. So we want to make this function a little dynamic. So I think it says, know how many bottles turn into the bottles. All right. Make your code able to take in and account for any bottle amount. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to refactor your code to do for any while loops or that doesn't use loops. I'm just not going to do that today. So I'm going to use it so it can take in any number of bottles. And I'm going to say, I'm going to reassign this because I want to use a while loop. So I'm going to create a new function called num bottles and declare it right there, or assign the input value to a variable called num bottles. So let's use a while loop. I can do while num bottles is, what should it be? While num bottles is greater than something, some value, I want it to execute. I'm going to split the screen. I'm going to close this. Oh, it just happened. There we go. So I split the screen. If you want to know how to split panes, so I've got these two, and I don't want to switch between these two just so I can read. Over here, I've got this little sheet with the arrow, split editor right. I can split that, and now I can close that. So I've got this while loop, but while num bottles is greater than
2.
You want to do it greater than 2?
I had it at 2.
Yes, 2.
So we have a bunch of people, like if I looked at everyone's answers, everyone would have a different solution. So if we did greater than 2, let's see what happens. We want it to say, what is it, these two values? So I can say console log. I'm gonna actually just copy these here. And if you see me doing anything like shortcutty, like how I highlight stuff or move things around, just let me know, like if you want to know how to do that.
How are you taking the established text and moving it up lines and down?
So in order to take the establishing text, I'm doing shift. So I can do shift to highlight, and then I think it's shift. See, I do it like subconsciously because I've done it. It is shift option. Nope. It's just option or alt, and then move the direction of where you want. So it's option and then moving it out. If I want to copy a value, it's shift option, and I can do that, and I can create multiple copies. So shift option to make copies, option or alt key, and I can move code around. So I can do console log, and I'm just going to copy this right here. And I'm just going to make this a string. Do that again. Delete that. I'm going to take this. All right. Now I've got this. And now after in a while loop, what do I have to do? So I need to decrement number of bottles. So num bottles, and I want to decrement it by 1. How do I decrement the num bottles by 1?
Minus, minus.
Minus, minus. Is there another way I can do it? But yeah, that's the shorthand.
Minus equals 1.
Yep, I can do also minus equals 1. Same thing. But
Or num bottles equals num bottles minus.
Num bottles minus 1.
Oh, yep. So, but this is a shorthand how to do it. So num bottles minus minus is just decrementing by 1. So if I actually want to run this, I'm going to put in 10. I don't want to do 99 because I don't want it to be very long. I just want to start out with something small. I just want to put in 10. I'm going to clear. I'm down here in the console. I'm going to clear it. And now I want to run this just to make sure that this is printing out what I want it to. So how do I run a JavaScript file in the console?
Move into the 99 bottles folder and then node.
Yep. So thank you. I can do ls. There's 99 bottles. List again. There's the JavaScript. Then run node 99 bottles JS. So looks like this printed 10 times, but it's not decrementing at all right now. So here's the value that I need. So I need to actually reassign this value to, what is it, num bottles. So I can do, how do I do that? How do I put inline variables or put variables inline?
Use
string?
templating. You can use backticks around your string instead of regular apostrophe.
Okay, so I can use backticks, which is string interpolation. Now I can use, I need a $, and I can do num bottles, num bottles. And then I can also copy that here. Now let's see what that looks like. It looks like I'm going to have an issue here. So I need to do string interpolation there as well. Num bottles, but I need to decrement by 1 right there. I need it to be num bottles minus 1 to equal 98. So let's see if I clear the screen there or clear the console or the terminal and run that again. So I've got 10 bottles of beer on the wall, 10 bottles of beer, take one down, pass it around, 9 bottles of beer. That's great. And now it gets down to take one down, pass it around, 2 bottles of beer on the wall. Awesome. Now I want to see if it breaks out of that loop. Break out of while loop. I just want to see what happens if this works. I should get, see, it breaks out of the while loop. Great. Now gets down to 2. And now I pretty much just need to copy this. Is that correct?
Shouldn't the conditional be none bottle is greater than 1? So it goes down to 1 bottles of beer on the wall, and then you can do the last verse with 1 bottle of beer on the wall, 1 bottle of beer.
So so if it goes greater than 1, oh yeah, wait. Take one.
I think it has to be greater than 2 because on 2, when you get down to 2, you go from 2 bottles down to 1 bottle, and so the second half of your verse is going to be messed up unless you are fancy.
So 2, but hold on, let's see. So we got 2 bottles of beer. All right, let's see. Take one down. Let's just try it out. Let's just do this now, and then we can come back and fix it or reiterate or mess around with it. So we got that. And now, wait, 1 bottle of beer on the wall. So this is going to be a string interpolation. We'll see if this works. If it doesn't, we'll just go back and take a look at it. One bottle of beer. And now it looks like there's nothing here. I'm just console logging.
Real quick, what's the keyboard command that you're using to bookend the string like that?
So I highlighted what I want to be inside the console log, and I'm doing shift to put it in parentheses. And now I just have to, with whatever I'm highlighting, I can just press the quotations, and it automatically encapsulates everything. That was your question?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, cool. And now, same thing here, console log. By instead of here, instead of number of bottles, I want to take the input that I want initially. Let's see if this works. So 1098 2 bottle. So right here, I see that we have an issue here. So maybe it does have to be greater than 1, or we can do something else. So it looks like here we got 2 bottles of beer on the wall.
Does it need to take, does that one need to be string interpolated, or can it just be like a blanket statement since we're at 1?
Take one down, pass it around. We could say like 1 bottle, but I try to avoid hard coding as much as possible. But so none bottles of beer, take one down, pass it around. So let's just do like -1. I just want to see what that looks like. Well, hold on a second. So once it gets down to 2, take one down, pass it around. 2 bottles of beer on the wall. And now it says 2 bottles of beer on the wall.
So it's only set to have the console log while it's greater than 2. Do you have to set something when it equals 1 or 0 specifically?
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do equals 1. And if it equals 1, I guess that's good.
I actually had a question about what you're doing right now because it's similar to how I implemented it. I was wondering, is that efficient to do that check statement every time? Because it's checking to see if it's 1 every time. I didn't know if that was.
It's obviously not ideal, but it's in the grand scheme of things, it literally has no impact on performance.
Okay, awesome.
Now, if it was like a return statement, but I just want to see something. Console log. Take 1 down. Where's the no more bottle? So I want to get rid of this. I'm going to, oops. There we go. Clear. So 0 bottles of beer on the wall. Where does it say that? So maybe if it's greater than 0, which is always. Take 1 down, pass it around. 1 bottle. Where's 1 bottle at? Where's that coming at? Is that right here?
Do you ever want us to interject?
Sure.
to
What
try
do you
and-
want? Well, I'm
Um,
not gonna like. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say a way to possibly avoid that problem, but because we're doing like number bottles -1, what if we made the word bottles a dynamic variable with our check if it's equal to 1?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. In which yeah, that's what I'm gonna get to.
Sorry.
No, but yeah, no, yeah. How do we do that?
Do you want me to say it or?
Yeah, like what's one?
Well, when you declared up there num bottles equals num, you could put another variable underneath, like plural equals bottles, and then you could interpolate bottles into your sentences. And then when you're checking if it's equal to 1, you could set the new value of plural to be equal to bottle instead.
Okay, that's one way of doing it. Does anybody ever know of another way that we can do it?
I checked it right in the console log statement with a shorthand if statement.
A shorthand if statement?
So I did like if I is equal to 1 question mark, and then I put bottle, and then colon, and then bottles. So if I is equal to 1, it'll pick the first option, and then if it's not, it'll pick the second option.
Is that called like a ternary?
Yep.
Yeah, ternary.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yep. So let's look at a ternary operator. So right here, if I do, so I'm doing inline JavaScript now. So if num bottles is greater than 1, question mark. So this is like an if statement. If num bottles is greater than 1, question mark, then put an S at the end of it. Else, just have an empty string.
Yep.
Let's see if this changes anything. Take 1 down. Where's this one? Bottles. So I'm going to do that. Too much console logging. Take one. Where is this one coming at? Bottles. Num bottles. Is that right here?
I think it's your if num bottles is greater than 0. I think when you switch it to 0, it's
I'm just gonna get rid of this right here and just see what happens. One bottle. Oh. Oh, I see where I need that. No more bottles of beer on the wall. Take 1 pound, pass it around.
Is it on the greater than or equal to 1?
Oh, I
Or
see.
no?
Oh. There we go. With 0 bottles, where's that one at?
Wouldn't the while statement just be num bottles greater than 1 at that point? Because as you interpolate over 1, you're going to get 0 bottle of beer on the.
Right, like right here. So equals 1.
Up top in the while statement on line 4.
Bottle. Take 1 down. We have 1. Where am I at? So we have take 1 down, pass it around, 0. Where's this one at? Take 1 down, pass it around.
I think it's in that on line 8 where you have none bottles -1.
Do I need that? Oh, is that it right there, right? I fixed it. No, 2 bottles of beer on the wall, 2 bottles of beer, take 1 down, pass it around, 1 bottle of beer on the wall. Does that look like it fixed it?
I think so.
Yeah,
Looks right to me.
cool.
Looks like the only issue is with the final statement now. It's supposed to be 99 instead of, you've got it as the first input.
Right, yeah. So I just wanted it to be but dynamic. So if I wanted to change it to 99, because if I wanted a song, so there we go.
That was actually going to be my next question, which is good because I just put like an additional if statement outside saying 99 bottles of beer on the wall for the no more. I was going to ask, how do you make that dynamic in case the number input is greater than 90?
It just, how do you make it dynamic? Oh, so yeah,
Well, you already did. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It already answered.
cool. So what other questions do you have? If you did it differently than this one, which I'm sure most of you, if not every single one of you, have done it differently, that's totally fine. There isn't a single correct answer. That's what's interesting about programming or solving problems. That if I look at, go ahead.
Sorry, I just had a question with the ternary, I think you
Oh,
called it.
yep.
Is that bad practice or is that acceptable?
No, that's
To
acceptable.
put if statements like that?
No, yeah. You'll be seeing ternaries more when we get into React.
Okay.
But yeah. But yeah, it's fine.
Is that ternary operator like the functioning equivalent of putting an if statement outside of it and saying if this, say this instead? That's just kind of, is that the same? I'm not sure.
It's just like putting an inline if statement.
Okay.
So,
all right,
yeah.
so
So if you had like if whatever, it just makes it a little
cleaner.
cleaner.
Can you just talk through that first ternary statement?
Okay. So console log if num bottles, I've got inside of here, it says if num bottles is greater than 1, I'd put a question mark. So this is like, if this is true, put an S, then like return an S. else just have an empty string. So it's like an if else statement. If this is true, put an S, else put an empty string.
Or is that like, could you call that like a logical or?
I wouldn't say it's an or. It's like if this is true, do X. If it's not true, it's like an if else statement, not an or statement.
The value to the left of the colon is true and the value to the right of the colon is false.
Correct. So I can even just say like true, false. And you can actually kind of
Okay,
see.
that makes more sense.
See it.
I have a question on that, Tom, on the ternary operator. I was playing around with it one day and I noticed, I don't know if you know a way, is there a way to return from inside the ternary operator? Use the return keyword. I was having trouble with that. And I don't, trying to shorten up some code and like I had to use if else statements in order to use a return statement. And then when I tried to use the ternary operator or the return statement within the ternary operator, like if you were to try to return an empty quote, or return S or something, like it doesn't want to return, if it's within like, I don't know, maybe it's not set up that way.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a return statement inside of a ternary operator.
Okay, that's probably just not supposed to do it.
You can put it on the outside, so you could say return and then put your ternary operator, and then if it's true, it'll return true or false.
Like
return.
that.
Yeah, I don't know how it works with that.
Yeah,
with the
I've
dollar
never
sign thing in there, but
Hey, Tom.
Yep.
So can you try this code on number 1 bottle? Because I think like the last one, the console of here, see if it's 1 bottle, it needs to be again like bottle, but it will be bottles, I guess. Can you try with the 1?
So like put 1 here?
Yes.
Oh. So, okay. Yeah. So if you want to.
Yeah,
that
again,
there.
yeah, I think so. Thank you.
There we go. Thank you. Got to test every single edge case.